I love sleep. In fact, placing my head on my pillow at the end of a productive day is one of my favorite activities of the day. I look forward to what my body is about to do, which is to regenerate, refresh, renourish, basically allow me a chance to catch my breath and restore my depleted reserves. Hands down, I have one of the weirdest sleeping schedules of anyone I know. I go to sleep by 6:30 p.m. and I wake up at 2:30 a.m. I've done this since 2008 when I first adopted my dog Bumblebee and realized she needed a lot of exercise to melt away her mega energy levels. I am talking mega energy levels. And she needed to exercise when no one else was around because, well, she had a few social anxiety issues that we had to work out of her system. So by 3 a.m., we hit the road running, literally. She would pull me down the street and I would try my best to keep her pace and not fall flat on my face in the process. I am sure we looked like quite the hilarious duo out there, with the moon and the stars as our natural light source. Once she outgrew her spastic stage and could be around others without her launching into full red zone alert barking, I realized I still loved getting up at that hour. I enjoyed the peace and harmony of the moon and stars and listening to nature wake up along with us. The bird chirps and sweet breezes, especially in the spring, did something to my senses and put a huge smile on my face to start the day. Soon, I was the one trying to wake her up to go out, instead of her launching herself on top of me to get me out of bed. After a while, she began to sleep in, but I was so used to waking up at 2:30 that I continued. I discovered that a quiet house, accentuated in the amber glow of lamps, did wonders for my creativity. My novels took on a new level of creation in those early hours. So I stuck with it. To this day, 11 years later, I cherish my early morning me time. My body is in sync with it, and it works for me. I sleep like a baby all night long and wake up refreshed and ready to tackle all my creative endeavors, exercise routines, and meal preps for the day. I didn't always sleep soundly though, and therefore I didn't always love sleep time. I actually used to stress out about it. I delayed it as long as I could because I just knew I'd be interrupted and spend my night tossing and turning and watching that damn alarm clock take an eternity to move. At this point in my life, stress would creep into my brain in the middle of my sleep cycle and not allow me to fall back to nourishing sleep. I'd wake up to go to the bathroom and bam, there was a thought about work, about my bank account, about the looming bill on the horizon, about the conflict that I may have had with a friend or a family member. It was any and all of these things playing host to a party in my mind while I was supposed to be sleeping. I don't have to tell you how important sleep is to your health, but I do want to emphasize that without proper sleep, we put ourselves at a distinct disadvantage. Fall short, and it can take a serious toll on your daytime energy, productivity, emotional balance, and even your weight. I was concerned about my sleep problem back then. I didn't want to take pills to fall asleep, but I veered very close to that idea because I was desperate. Instead, I dove deep into research mode to find some answers. It didn't take me long to discover a very simple solution to my problem. In fact, it was the first thing I discovered in my research. The approach? Stop the wave of worry from peaking and tumbling down on me by heading it off first. You see, for me, the stress crept in when I went to the bathroom in the middle of the night. My brain would activate, like I just hit the light switch to it. My thoughts would immediately go to the problems I was facing the day before. And at night, problems seemed to be amplified. By that point, when that light switch is on, it's too late. The cycle of stress has begun, and that wave quickly turns into a tidal wave that has enough power to topple me over before I can blink. So how do you stop a raging wave from forming in the wee hours of the night when you are most vulnerable to thoughts? The moment you wake, you must realize the thoughts will come. It's imperative to steer your thoughts in a neutral way ahead of that wave. So the research suggested to find a song, a happy song with a happy jingle, and hum or sing it when you first wake in the middle of the night. So for me, that was the second I rose to head to the bathroom. I began humming the lyrics to Under the Boardwalk, because I adore that song. You know, under the boardwalk. So the entire time I would be in the bathroom until I returned to my bed, I would hum it to myself. No other thought could enter because my happy song blocked it out. That's right, blocked it out. And because no thought interrupted my happy place, I easily fell back to sleep. It has worked like that for over 15 years. That was the only solution I needed, thankfully. Now I know this may not work for everyone, or maybe it will. Who knows? But if you need alternative ideas, because maybe this one is not working out for you the way it did for me, I've researched a few more for you. One idea is to keep a regular sleep-wake cycle. Find what works for you and stick to it. By going to sleep and waking up at the same time every day, you are programming your body's internal clock to an optimal, consistent level. If you oversleep on the weekends, you are actually doing yourself a disservice because you'll feel more tired. You're better off taking a nap during the day than messing with your nighttime sleep cycle. Another idea is to pay attention to light sources. Avoid blue light that emits from electronics for at least 1 to 2 hours before you sleep. If you use electronics close to bedtime, use blue blockers or light-altering software such as f.lux. Cover up electronics in the room that create light. There was a time in my life when my bedroom looked like an airport runway. No kidding. I had TVs and DVRs and radios and all sorts of things. And they all emitted these lights and they really were right in front of me. So no wonder why my sleep cycle was so messed up for so long. Just cover up those electronics and make your room as dark as possible. This will signal to your brain that it's time to sleep. A third tip is to exercise during the day. People who exercise regularly sleep better at night, and they feel less sleepy during the day. Regular exercise also improves the symptoms of insomnia and sleep apnea, and increases the amount of time you spend in the deep restorative stages of sleep. Although experts do warn that you shouldn't exercise too close to bedtime, because exercise raises your metabolism, elevates your body temperature, and stimulates cortisol hormones, and you don't want to do that too close to your sleep. A fourth tip is to be sure that you are nurturing your body with the right nutrients. Avoid sugary foods, caffeine, alcohol, and heavy meals before heading to bed. A final tip that I use in falling asleep is guided meditation. I love listening to the soothing lullaby of a gentle woman's voice to help me wind down and breathe with relaxed purpose. I'll put a link to a channel that I love on YouTube in the show notes, and it is called Great Meditation. Bottom line, friends, is that sleep can make or break a person's emotional and physical strength. To live with peace and harmony requires you are in the best state possible. And one of the best ways to ensure this is through a good night's sleep.